Hello friends, Glage back with another Punishing Grey Raven video today, and we finally got our second episode of the Babylonia DevCom series from the Kuro devs themselves, and there's quite a bit of information on the next upcoming patch, as well as some stuff that's in the works for future versions, so I want to go over that real quick and kind of talk about it since I did that for the first DevCom. And so let's just kind of get right into it, and I'll try to keep this somewhat short, even for me. No promises, though. You guys know how I work. So, first major thing that was shown during the DevCom was the system they are working on for streamlining, upgrading, and equipping characters. There's a lot going on here that looks very useful. Basically, what they said is that we're going to be able to basically upgrade a character's skills, their promotion level, their XP level, all of that stuff all at once with quick menus that will automatically use the most applicable resources we have available. There's also going to be the ability to exchange for resources you don't have. So if you're out of like memory XP or weapon XP or whatever you have that you need to use to get all your equipment and build online, you'll be able to exchange for it without going to like the daily farm shop and stuff like that. It's also apparently going to have the ability to set loadouts in advance, so you can set up a memory loadout and stuff like that, including the resonances and such, and then go ahead and equip all of it and put the resonances on automatically, assuming you have the right materials to do so. They didn't say anything about streamlining resonances or anything, so I assume if you want to pick like your resonance, you're still going to have the resonance pick item and stuff, but if you have them available, it looks like you just can be able to go through everything in rapid succession. So this will be super, super nice. After you've been leveling characters in this game for multiple years, going through and doing each individual skill, each individual character is a little time consuming, and it's nice that they're working on streamlining that for everyone. So that'll be a welcome quality of life update. We haven't really gotten a lot of new ways to, get the characters built with a more streamlined interface, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Up next, we are getting an update to the music player, which is great. It's kind of still sitting as it has been for a very long time. It's apparently going to have an immersive mode where the animations will pulsate, and kind of gives me vibes of having plugins for very old MP3 player applications back in the early 2000s. I'm old, did you forget? But nonetheless, considering how much, PGR's soundtrack means to so many of the players, and how it is arguably the most recognizable part of the entire game in terms of PGR's worldwide notoriety. There's a lot more people that know the game for its music than actually know the game itself, because of how iconic it is and how many times it's been used in various big content creator videos and such. So definitely not going to complain about an update to the music player. We're apparently also getting a playlist feature that lets us search through various things instead of having to scroll through every single song that's available, and I'm all down for that because we got a lot of songs in this OST now. Next, we got a reveal for Karenina's new frame, which looks very, very interesting. So, Karenina Effulgence is what they are giving the frame name on her. And as you can see, she has a very naval captain aesthetic. This is a very different design for Karen than I was expecting, but I kind of dig it so far. Lots of little details and cool stuff on the outfit here, and her weapon is really cool. I think this is awesome that they're showing these 3D kind of model, like showing how the animation rigs are made in practice. Kuro's animation is getting kind of legendary status in terms of the industry of late. I'm starting to hear people and see various content creators doing videos just on the character models or the animation rigs for PGR, and it kind of reminds me of when everyone was looking at Arxis when Guilty Gear Xrd came out, and it was the first time we started getting 3D characters in a 2D space, in terms of like really cheating the system. I think Kuro's starting to hit that same level of notoriety with their animation rigs, their modeling, and everything they're doing. So this honestly was like one of the coolest parts of the whole DevCom for me, is just seeing the model rig for how they rigged up her weapon. It's a combination surfboard and anchor, which I mean is very naval aesthetic, but the fact that it's an anchor, and you guys know me, I have been playing Guilty Gear for almost a quarter century now. I can't wait for all the comparisons to May, and now I'm very curious if the Japanese voice actor is gonna fit in a Totsugeki somewhere in the middle of her attack strings. But nonetheless, her animations already look really good. The anchor can be whipped around and kind of has kind of the same vibe as Helentine with her yo-yo blades. So the surfboard looks really cool, and then we got to look at her ultimate. So we also got confirmed that Karenina is a physical breaker, as well as having the dark flow element. So this is kind of a like good and bad for me personally, because new breaker means, all right, well, time for another character to absolutely start decimating Warzone and PPC scores. Good lord, I can't talk today. So that's cool, but it also means that she's probably replacing Han Ying, and that makes me very sad as a Han Ying fanboy, but maybe we'll end up with the physical team actually being one tank, one breaker, and that's the best way to go about it. Han Ying's leap is very, very strong, so this basically just tells me I'm going to have a lot of testing to do once I get access to Karenina and figuring out how the new physical team is going to work. But she looks very interesting, and she's a breaker, so, you know, she's going to do 5 gorillion damage every time she hits an orb. So looking forward to seeing just how much she starts trashing stuff with the physical element. Very glad she's Dark Flow. Dark Flow has fallen woefully behind many of the other elements right now, so that's kind of a nice thing to get, that we were getting an update there. And then we got quite possibly the most Karenina look I've seen here with this scene. Before I let it all play out, this is an alternate color coding. This appears to be a thing they're going to be doing somewhat regularly now. I don't know if this is one you're going to have to buy with like coding blueprints or rainbow cards. They didn't say it was a purchasable coding, so I think this is going to be like Helentine's coding, where you can swap to the white base color instead of the black base color on her Advanced Awakening coding. I'm assuming that's how this is going to work, and maybe that's going to be a thing moving forward, where each new frame gets one palette swap option instead of a full-scale secondary coding when they come out. And that would be great, because that would just mean more color options without players having to pony up black cards or rainbow cards or anything like that. But this animation is that sure is Karen, bucko. That is definitely Karenina being Karenina. So they know what they're doing. They know their characters very well. So absolutely hilarious animation. There's going to be memes about that for days. Next thing they talked about, we are getting more additions to the Title Wishes summer stories. We have a couple available now with Helentine and I think Serena, if I remember right. I haven't done those modes yet, just because I've been working on, you know, figuring out all the new rotations with Helentine and planning other videos and stuff. But we are getting more chapters in that, and it's going to come with more of the Title Wishes codings, including one for Bianca. She's going to get a summer theme coding. Looks like a very lounge style coding. Teddy as well is getting a summer coding, which looks pretty cute. They showed visuals of both of these here, so I'll let this play out. But this is kind of like what they did with the 4 Horsemen coatings. This is another line of coatings we're getting. So Bianca has a very, very laid-back, lounged look to it. And apparently it's going to have different VFX depending on if you are in Radiance mode or Dark Damage mode. So that's really cool that they're adding that in. I think that's going to make the coating feel more authentic. So very cool to see that. They didn't show any of the VFX yet, so we'll have to wait for the coding to actually come out. And then Teddy gets this very cute, like, penguin swimsuit with sandals on her boots and stuff, so that's really cool. This is apparently going to be completely free, so as long as you're Commandant level 40, you'll be able to get Teddy's coding for free, and free stuff is great. More free stuff, please, girl. Thank you. But, yeah, very cute new codings, new stories for the Title Wishes. The, one thing I should mention, I did skip over where they were talking about what's coming up in the story, solely because, again, I'm not caught up and I don't want to spoil anything for myself, but there was a brief, like, 1 minute section where they talked about what's upcoming for the next story chapters. The most notable part about that, after they stopped sharing, like, minor details of what's coming in the story, is that they are going to be bringing back hidden story chapters, apparently. They didn't say every chapter is going to have a hidden story with it, but that is a mechanic that they are going to be bringing back for future chapters, so I suspect any of the major chapters that are mainline, maybe we're going to get a hidden story alongside of it. So that's very notable and interesting, because if you watch my Evernight Beat lore video, that was the last chapter that had a hidden story within it, and that was chapter 16 of the main chapter. That was a very long time ago. So very interesting that they're going to bring back the hidden stories. But moving on, most of the rest of the devcoms is focusing on the summer concert that's going to be going on. So we're getting a lot of things related to the concert and music theme mini games and other things. This one is going to be a festival style story where you do a little mini game to determine which character is being described, and then apparently you get an invitation where you can go do a personalized story with that character alone at the festival. We've had other little events like this in the past, usually for like Valentine's Day and stuff, where you get some kind of cute, modestly romantic interaction with all the various constructs and get a unique animated scene and stuff like that. They said they're going to be doing these for every single construct, and more will come out over time, and they have created some new unique illustrations for each construct. So if you're a big fan of like the extra lore and Bond story kind of stuff that goes on in PGR, this will be definitely of note for you to check out. So plenty of little interactions they're building in. Next, Pyro Oath getting a leap. So this will be very interesting. Pyro Oath is in a very, very weird spot right now, where if you are a super high invested fire team, she still has a place thanks to her QTE bomb, but outside of that, she has become mostly non-meta for most things. So I'll be very curious to see how strong this leap is and what it allows her to do. This may enable some more life out of the character, but again, now that we're in the era of breakers, it's hard to say if an attacker character leap is going to be enough to keep them relevant. Obviously, once we get access to this and I can test it, figure out what changes, I'll do a leap guide on Pyro Oath when it comes out, but still very notable that she's getting a leap. Hopefully that extends her lifespan a little bit, and they said it's mostly focused around streamlining her rotations. So as mentioned earlier, the global online concert. So this is going to be a free event that Kuro is putting on August 22nd, starting at 11 UTC. So check your time zone calculator to figure out where you are. I'm personally UTC -5, so it'll be about 6 in the morning for me, which is usually when I go to bed because my wife and I are on overnight schedule. So I'm probably not catching this live unless I'm just really amped up for some reason and can't sleep. But this is going to be available online. It's a full concert that's going to be streamed globally. Should be very interesting. They've been talking this up for a little bit. Big fan of this art they did to promote the concert. I love seeing characters in games or manga or whatnot getting out of their traditional garb and getting just some kind of theme or casual look. So seeing all the characters with like a kind of rock star aura vibe to it. Big fan that Roland's over here, just big chilling. Good to see him back, especially because, you know, I just did the Evernight Beat video a few months back, so spent a lot of time with Roland while doing the writing and research for that, obviously. But I'm also a big Bleach fanboy, and if you've ever watched any of Kubo's stuff that he does as extracurricular illustrations, he loves designing just basic casual wear for his characters. So I thought this was really cool, but very neat that they're going to put on this whole concert. Very curious to see how it goes. So that's something that's going to be kind of a major focus with the next patch, and with just the themes of what's coming up, since, you know, we're kind of in the middle of the summer content for PGR. So there's going to be other stuff that's really music related. They said there's going to be various Easter eggs and some game modes that come with Karenina's patch and throughout the summer. Karen is also getting this really rad coating with a full rock star vibe. Her anchor becomes a electric guitar. Honestly, I think this looks sick. I will probably almost certainly spend money to get this coating because, like, the naval theme's cool, but it's not really my personal, like, thing. I'm not super big into that look. This is more my speed, so good chance I'm picking up this coating as soon as it's available, but very cool to see. We're also getting a new background for the lobby, which is always good. I always like seeing what they do for the new ones, and this kind of looks more like a summer festival. It's not like a giant Ozfest style stage, just kind of something on the street corner, which I think is cool. It kind of fits the theme of PGR with this whole concert thing that's going on. So big fan of that. So that'll probably be the scene that you get out of care. I'm assuming that electric guitar is going to be a gotcha coating, and that right there is the scene that you also get out of the coding gotcha. So I doubt we're going to be able to get that one for free, but nonetheless. And then they mentioned these various Easter eggs. So apparently one of the game modes, as we unlock characters, you'll be able to take the various chibis and make them do a little music arrangement with each other. So this is super adorable. Definitely gonna mess around with this. I love seeing what they do with the little chibi assets. We don't get to see these as much anymore unless they're in some kind of game mode, because if you're like me, you never actually go into your dorms anymore. You just click the buttons to get the missions done and move on, because, well, for me at least, I have other stuff to do when I'm playing PGR, unfortunately, because I make content for the game. What you gonna do? But I always like seeing how they reutilize the chibi assets. The Vampire Survivor minigame is also coming back, apparently, with a music bent to it, so that'll be cool. This is a fun little minigame, and I like that they've changed the background and some of the aspects of the game, just because the one board they had for the first run was kind of, dry and didn't have a lot going on in it. They apparently are also adding in a rhythm game aspect to go with this, so that's really cool. So yeah, very, very cool to see this this particular set of the mini game back. I'll definitely mess around with this. I definitely lost a few hours to it because, I mean, it's Vampire Survivor. That's kind of what this stuff does. So, but that was basically most of the important details that they revealed during this DevCom. Definitely working on the quality of life stuff. They said there's other things that they're working on, including stuff like expanding our inventory when it comes to memories and dormitories and stuff like that, because longtime players are actually starting to run up against the storage limits for memories and stuff. So they said they are currently working on a solution to that in the future. They didn't have an ETA for when that's going to be done, but that is something they are working on so that we have more space to work with memories and dormitories. So that's very cool. And yeah, that pretty much covers all they really wanted to show us. Karenina's patch is going to be out on August 19th, so not too terribly far away. This is going to be a short turnaround patch. Helentine's only been out for a little over a week, so it's going to be a fairly short patch turnaround, which means I kind of need to get myself in gear, because there's a lot more stuff I need to cover with this patch. But yeah, very interesting DevCom episode. Mostly seems like this was just focused on letting people know what's coming with the summer events and a chance to show off Karen's new frame and all that stuff. But very curious what they'll do with the stuff. They said they're still taking feedback and looking to always improve and adjust the game for the better, which is all you can ask for of a gacha game dev. So definitely happy to hear that. But that pretty much covers DevCom too. I don't really have anything super negative to say about this. It all seems like good stuff. We're getting quality of life. That's always a plus. That music player looks great. As someone who uses the music for videos a lot, especially the lore videos and stuff, I'm always happy to have more ways to get that easily accessed. So yeah, should be good stuff all around. As for what's going on with the rest of Helentine's patch, I am currently working on Nanami's Leap Guide. I'm working on Serena's Harmony 2.0 guide for her weapon. And then as soon as we get a Glaciation Warzone, I will do an updated Glaciation team guide as well. So I have a lot left to do this patch. It's going to take a little bit to get there, but I will be putting out at least 1 or 2 more videos this week as long as things go according to plan. I can get stuff recorded. So look forward to those. If you've been asking about Glaciation and stuff, I know people asked about it in Helentine's guide. As a reminder, I don't do the elemental effects within the base character guide because my guides are already too damn long to begin with, and most of the time if I put the elemental effect in there, it just gets glossed over and people don't realize the full guides in there. And I prefer to do the elemental effects as full update guides because it's very important to kind of have the whole team rotation for those. It's a lot harder to understand how those effects work with just one character doing a thing at a time. So if you've been wondering where the glaciation stuff is, as soon as we get a Warzone, I will start testing, and then I will get a guide out as soon as I can. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you guys thought of the DevCom stuff. Is there anything you're super looking forward to? What are you excited about for the summer stuff? You're going to check out the concert, all that good nonsense. But for now, I'm going to get back to work on some other PGR content and then get out of my office because it's so hot. It's so hot in here, guys. I need to turn my fan back on. So, as always, appreciate all your feedback, support. You got any questions or input on the DevComs, leave them down in the comments below. And that's going to do it. So, y'all take care, stay cool, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.